Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you what happens to your big toe if you don't look after it. And it does involve a drill and it does involve a screw. That's right, we're going to talk about hallux limitus. Now, hallux limitus refers to, I'll use this foot first, refers to the toe joint here when it is restricted in how much upwards movement it has, upwards bend in here. We call that hallux limitus because, like the name suggests, it's limited movement. I'm going to show you right now with my tools what happens in surgery when this progresses and the joint fuses. I'm going to see what happens here. Now, I'm not a surgeon. As you know, I'm a foot and ankle physio and I deal with stiff limited toes all day. But I've watched hundreds of these operations and I really want to show you how to avoid it. If you watch along to the end of this video, I'll show you at the end 3 ways that you can prevent this happening to you, because you don't want to end up on the surgeon's table. The first thing the surgeon's going to do is, you're going to be prepped for theatre, of course. What he's going to do is prepare a drill hole, and he's going to do this to your toe. I don't know how this is going to go, but let's see what happens. All right, so he's going to drill a hole just like that. That part went pretty well so far. Let me just switch this out now because we've got to get our screwdriver here. All right, yep, we're good to go. The next thing is going to happen to your toe, because it's arthritic and the cartilage has degenerated to such a point that it doesn't bend anymore. Then your toe is going to be stuck in this position. This is called a toe fusion, a first MTP joint fusion. I've seen lots of these, and if you get in here, they're going to put screws, maybe 1, maybe 2, or maybe a plate right across the joint like this. So the screw's going to go across here. Oh, I'm sort of mucking this up, but I don't know whether I'll get my surgeon's license, but it is kind of grabbing that screw there. Okay, cool. I've got the screw across that joint now, and my poor little friend's toe here now doesn't move whatsoever. So that big toe joint now is never going to bend again. That's what happens with a toe fusion. And that's really the only operation for a fully fused big toe. You can still function. There's a very famous one here in Melbourne, had his toe fused, Leighton Hewitt, the famous tennis player that's won multiple Grand Slams. He had his toe fused. And how do I know this? Because I saw him personally after the operation, got him started, handed him back over to his other physio. He still played another 2 years on tour with that toe fuse. So you can still function. However, the next joint up in line is going to start taking over more movement, because if you can't push off through that big toe, and we need around about 60 degrees of movement minimum, even up to 90. Some dancers will definitely need 90 or even 100 degrees of movement there. If you don't have that movement to push off through there in the gait pattern, you will have to make an adjustment. Typically, either the next joint up starts to take more wear and tear and then it starts to fuse, or you'll come around and you'll compensate and deviate through the outside of your foot. And then you can imagine you'll have problems all through the outside of your ankle and foot, and even higher up the kinetic chain into the hip and the low back and the pelvis. So what do we do about this? We don't want your toe fused. And if you notice that it is getting stiff, I'm going to show you 3 ways to improve that right now. Come with me and I'll take you out to our gym area where I show you what we can do. Come with me. Come this way. Okay, so here we are in the gym, and here's my first tip on how to improve your big toe movement. And if you've got the mobility in your hip, and hopefully you do, you're going to use your own hands to get the big toe moving. You're going to place one hand here above the joint here, and the second hand below here, and you're going to gently traction the joint, and you're going to stretch it right up and back down again. Right up and back down again, right up and back down again, gradually improving how high you can move. We call this self-mobilization. This is exactly the type of technique I do on patients in the clinic, and you can do it yourself with your own hands. That's number 1. Number 2, we've got to work out what muscle might be restricting this joint movement, and typically the muscle involved is the FHL, the flexor hallucis longus, and he runs, if you have a look here, I'll show you on my foot. This muscle runs right from the base of the big toe right up through your arch, And if I flex it up, you can see that tendon popping up through here. It runs deep through the back of the ankle, and actually it attaches right at the back here. If I show you up here, the back of the fibula and the little membrane between the two bones of the back. So it's a deep calf muscle, and the way we attack this is using a foam roller. All right, now some of you might have foam rolled your calf muscles before, and this is a really effective way of loosening those muscles off. But for the FHL, we have to do something a little different. We have to roll onto the outside of the leg, so we get the back of the fibula. If you need more pressure, you can cross the other leg over, and if you're strong enough, hold yourself and roll backwards and forwards. Find any tight spots. They'll typically be in the back here. All right, if you find they're not there, work that muscle out and you'll find that you get more range of motion. Great, so now we've loosened off the muscle, we've freed up the joint. The last one, the third one, you need to be careful with this one. You need to do cautiously. I'll get you to come over here and we're going to use this little bit of wall here. Okay, so if you come around here, you'll be able to see this. I'm going to bend my big toe back carefully, and this is where you do need to be careful, don't jam it. If you feel it really pinching on the joint here, do not push it. And then with both a straight knee and a bent knee, come forwards and stretch into that movement. This is now stretching that FHL muscle and making this joint move a little bit further. Go cautiously with that one. There you have it. There is 3 tips to improve your toe so you don't end up on the surgeon's table just like that. Good luck.